let's move over to the NFL and let's talk about the AFC East today. This is Caleb's conference, this is Caleb's division. The New England Patriots, Buffalo Bills, New York Jets, Miami Dolphins. Okay. Now, I think we're all smart enough to know that this is a 2-team division this season. Okay. Is there any disagreements with that? Didn't think so. Okay. So the first question before we talk about who might win and, some other things like that, who comes in last, the Jets or the Dolphins, Caleb?
Jets. I mean, this guy's going to be fired by like week 6, week 8. Geno Smith apparently is throwing up beach balls in practice already in the joint practices. Like they're catching a bunch of picks on him. I'm not buying it. Not buying any of it. Jay, give me the Jets. Look, this team didn't catch an interception for a whole season last year. You know how hard that is with a defensive-minded coach, right? Like even like you would think at some point like you get a tip ball line of scrimmage and somebody just happens to be in the right spot. No,
wow. I actually went with the Dolphins, and I'll tell you why. I just wrote down some positions, some players' names here. All right, let's just compare quarterbacks, running backs, receivers. Jets have Geno Smith, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, A.D. Mitchell. The Dolphins have Malik Willis, Devon Achane, Malik Washington, and Caleb Douglas, and Tutu Atwell, if we wanted to throw that name in there. But so I'm going to go advantage Jets there, okay? Defense, the Jets got Demario Davis and Minkah Fitzpatrick. They drafted David Bailey. They've still got Will McDonald, who I think still has some potential to be a freak. Dolphins, I forgot to write any defensive players' names down because I don't even think I knew any of them. So for that reason, I think the Jets have a solid roster compared to the Dolphins. I'm not here to start saying, oh, the Jets, they're winning X amount of games this year, because I'm not sure how many. It's still the Jets. But I'm going to go with the Jets over the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins the roster is really going to be a problem, especially with I'm not going to say inexperienced coaching staff, but a guy who's never been an NFL head coach before. I'm in Halfley. So I went with the Jets or the Dolphins to be worse than the Jets this year. Jonathan, what about you?
Yeah, I'm right there in lockstep with you, Gary. I mean, when you just look at exactly what you were talking about, the rosters and kind of the talent and who stands out to you on these teams, and you're like, oh yeah, the Jets clearly have a little bit more ammo and firepower to work with, at least in my opinion. But seems like Gary's on the same page. I just think, like Gary was saying, Breece Hall is back, franchise tag after a 1,000-yard season. Like he was a good back last year. They get Geno Smith coming off an okay year, I guess. I mean, he had 17 picks. That's not something that you want to see, but he's serviceable with weapons like Hall and A.D. Mitchell. They added Kenyon Sadiq from Oregon. They have the LSU standout from a couple years ago, Mason Taylor at tight end as well. They added Minkah Fitzpatrick, Tavondre Sweat on the D-line. So I think, and like Gary said, also David Bailey from Texas Tech in the draft as well. So I like them to be at least a little bit more formidable, especially defensively. Whereas the Dolphins, I'm not sure what you're looking at. Is it Malik Willis is the starter, Quinn Ewers? I mean, does he really have anybody to throw the ball to? The Dolphins didn't do all that much to impress me over the offseason. So yeah, I think they'll be pretty shit this year.
Did we change your mind, Caleb?
No, I did go look at this Miami Dolphins depth chart, and it is bleak. It is bleak. But I think Aaron Glenn's terrible and Geno Smith's terrible. Like they're probably gonna have a fight in like at midfield or something like week 4. That's just Jets football.
Yeah. Okay.
One team's gonna win 4 games, one team's gonna win 2.
Yeah, it's probably good battle for them one pick, week 16, whenever they play or whatever.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we've established who we think's coming in last place, I want to play a game here. All right. We've been playing some games, some top 5s. We did the build a team in the NFC South. We're going to play a true or false game, all right? We've got 2 questions for each team. All right, I think this will be fun, get some good answers here. I've got some scenarios. We're going to start with Caleb's New England Patriots. True or false, Caleb? Drake May will regress this season.
I can't believe this is even a question. No, there's no way. The guy's coming off of a second-place MVP finish, barely into his NFL career, and he just got A.J. Brown, Travion Henderson, a year older, Elijah Vera Tucker in front of him. The offensive line got stronger. The receiving core got stronger. Not only do you got those guys, we got Romeo Doubs to catch football. Like Pop Douglas still here. Keyshawn Butte still here. Hunter Henry didn't go nowhere. No, he's not going to get worse. And to me, if like a player got worse, it would be because first he started tricking off the field or something like that, which, I mean, Drake May's an honest married man. We're not going to have any of that. He's a true franchise guy in that department. His OC didn't leave. So there's no, the system's still there. The head coach is still there. And his position players got better. So I don't see a world in which he would regress. I'd love to hear the arguments as to why he would.
Do you have an argument for it, Jonathan, or no?
No, I don't. I'm right there with Caleb. See, if you just look at it, no matter which way you slice it, there's no way he regresses. I mean, the whole team around him, or at least the offense in particular, has gotten better around him at every single position group. So yeah, I'm with Caleb on that one.
Okay,
Milo agrees as well.
I'll tell you one thing. I think he will regress this season. Okay. Now that's one thing to say. Okay, the guy was, second place MVP. 1 vote off. Maybe it was Diane Orsini who got him there close. We'll talk about her in a second. But a couple things. All right. One, let's rewind the clock here and go back to when Drake May made the playoffs last season and had like just a horrendous playoffs. Right. Fair point. Pretty bad playoffs.
He also he played the toughest stretch of defenses any quarterback's ever seen in the playoffs.
That's another great point. He played good defenses last year in the playoffs, but not in the regular season.
Not good, great.
Great
not
defenses.
Good,
great defenses last season, and then he just absolutely shit the bed when he was playing great defenses last year. Now, and that goes into 2026. The schedule has gotten a lot harder. We will no longer be the New England schedules in 2026. Okay. That was a running joke. That's going to get a lot tougher. Okay. First of all, week 1, Wednesday night, they kind of go to Seattle. Guy's going to be having horror dreams. So it's probably going to be a tough start to the season. Okay. Then we've got teams like the Steelers, the Jags. We got to play the Bills twice, which I'm not going to rave about the Bills defense or anything, but we've got to take teams like the Bears, the Packers, the Lions, the Chargers again. That's one of the teams that gave them a nightmare. The Vikings. We know how suffocating the Vikings defense can be. The Chiefs, you can't mess with Steve Spagnuolo. All right. The Broncos, they're back late in the season. So I just think there's going to be some opportunities for Drake May to struggle this season. Okay. Look, being regressing from second place in MVP to 12th or 13th place, that's not a bad place to be. But I do think Drake May is going to have a regression and will come back to life in year 3 in New England. So I'm going to say it's true that he does regress.
I don't think you're actually believing that. I think you're just making a take here. There's no chance.
No,
I
do believe it. I mean, come on, dude. What's the last image you have of Drake May? Just he was
him taking off a Super Bowl patch jersey. He made it to the Super Bowl. Like people can talk about how bad he played. Oh yeah, he lost. You know how many other teams lost before they got? There's 30 teams that didn't get to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
30 of them. I mean, I'm just saying they didn't get there.
The most recent team to lose is the New England Patriots. Well,
actually, it's also like the question is he going to regress? And he literally finished second in MVP voting last year. So I kind of get what Gary's saying. Plus the schedule is a lot tougher than it was last year. It's like everybody was like, oh, JJ McCarthy was also.
I didn't even bring this. I had this written down. I didn't even bring it up. Everyone's making AJ Brown like this big move. Let's not act like AJ Brown is going to come over there and fix everything. He's going to be reading books on the sideline by week 3. Josh McDaniels going to piss him off. He's going to fake an injury. He's a diva. He's the biggest diva in the NFL, and you just brought him to New England. Okay. That is not the Patriot way, by the way. That is not the Patriot way to go out and bring this guy's not going to be Randy Moss. Okay. No shot. AJ Brown.
Yeah, that's getting clipped. Okay. Yeah. You just set yourself up poorly for that one, bro.
AJ Brown.
I mean, listen, like it's not going to get worse. How can it get worse? I understand like maybe the stats draw back. First of all, let's get the schedule bullshit out of the way. Okay. The NFL is a league of parity. The worst team gets the first pick and the last team gets the 32nd pick for a reason every year. And you know what? Last place teams in the division often jump to first and experience continual success after that. These guys we played it tough against the Atlanta Falcons last year. They wasn't great. And I understand the schedule. People were talking about that. Then my point is though, all these teams are capable of winning any week. It's hard to go 0-16 or 0-17. Like you're playing 5 stars across the board every week. And whatever game plan you taking in those games to win, let's do it. And then on the playoff front, do you think Josh McDaniels and Mike Vrabel took Drake May into their office to scheme on that Monday before the game was like, hey, we need you to beat these guys? That's not the Patriot way. We play winning football. You play to win the damn game. But you know what? Whenever we needed to throw a touchdown to Kayshon Boutte over Derek Stingley, the greatest corner in the league last year, to go up, 2 possessions in a playoff game when it was snowing outside, guess who did it? Drake May.
That was more
I
of
mean-
a good catch and a good throw, though.
I mean, if you're not on the green to putt, you never make birdies.
Okay, we got to move on. Second thing for the Patriots. There will be, true or false, another picture of Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel will come out.
True.
Yes,
True.
after we win a Super Bowl.
True. Very true. I think there's going to be multiple that still come out. We're all in agreement that it's going to
Yeah,
it's
and
true.
I'm kind of
They're
looking
there.
forward to seeing it. Yeah.
What if they were naked?
Night before the Super Bowl, they're dropping, dude. I'm telling you.
Talk about viral.
Oh my God, that sex tape would do numbers. Okay, all right. Let's move to the Bills. Let's talk about the Bills for a second. We haven't even talked about them yet. Obviously, they made some key additions. All right, this offseason. Got their wide receiver revamped. So my first question to you guys, true or false, DJ Moore will have over 1,500 receiving yards in 2026. Caleb?
False. It's hard to get to that number. I mean, that's a pretty high number. I don't even think like Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson, one or the other, did not get to that number last year. DJ Moore is great, but there's too much, people that need the ball up there. Like you're talking about Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid, both at tight end. James Cook is going to tote the mail a lot, and he also gets it thrown to him a lot. And then there's Keon Coleman and Khalil Shakir. I'm sure there's another dude out there too that they're going to have to throw the ball to. I've just never, like, Buffalo hasn't featured a guy like that for that many yards or that many even like targets to get to that number since Stephon Diggs. So I don't see them recreating that thing. I think Joe Brady's more of like a ball distribution guy, kind of get it West Coast-ish, get it out. This guy, that guy, let's just keep the chains moving and keep the tendencies light. So I see that. And I think, if a guy has 1,500 yards, he is getting double covered before week 15 is over.
Yeah, true. I'm right there with Caleb. I think there's too many guys to catch passes from Josh Allen on the offense. And then on top of that, it's like he hasn't even crossed the 1,500 yard mark in his career in a single season. So I don't know. I'll guess I'll have to see it before, I believe it. I think
this will be the best quarterback he's ever played with, though.
Yeah, totally. That definitely
Walker?
makes sense. But I don't think that just automatically makes you a 1,500 yard receiver. And also, like you said, Caleb, it's tough to get to that.
Yeah, no, I have it as false as well, so he will not do it. I do think it's interesting, though. He is reuniting with Joe Brady, who was with him in Carolina. Some people forget about that. So he will be featured. Obviously, that's the whole reason they traded for him. I think he will get close to it, but I do think, he hasn't even done that before. I think Keon Coleman and Shakir are pretty good weapons as well. And I think at this point, Joe Brady's been there. They know how they want to play the offense. So that brings me to my second one. Will James Cook, true or false, run for over 1,500 yards? Caleb?
I think it's true. He did it last year. I think he's going to be a featured part of this offense. I would have liked this more if it was like 2,000 scrimmage yards, because I think like when you factor in the pass game and what he gets in that department, he's going to be a machine this year. But 1,500, I feel good about it. I think he got to 1,600 last year, so I wouldn't see that trend to dip. And truly, like, I think Buffalo's better when they run the football a lot, not with Josh Allen.
Yeah, I kind of go back and forth on this one because 1,500 is a pretty tough number to get to, especially for a running back in today's age when a lot of the carries are kind of divvied up. But obviously, James Cook, he's one of the best running backs in the NFL. Gary and I think all three of us knew he was that guy at Georgia. I mean, he was a fucking baller there. Loved watching him in the red and black. Anyways, I don't know, man. I think maybe false, just because he might, like you were saying, his receptions and the passing game might kind of dive into it. Might take a little bit of a bite out of those total yards. So I'll go false just because it's a tough number. I think he's right around there, though. Maybe 1,250, 1,350 yards, somewhere in that range.
All right, I've got it as true. I wrote down, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So that's
Damn
what
right.
Joe Brady will do. Obviously, he's the offensive coordinator there for the last couple seasons. He's now the head coach. He should make some things go. Let's move to the Jets.
Go look at his discussion post if you want to know how good of a dog he is, by the way.
Oh, yeah. That's an all-time.
Those are a classic.
That's an all-time. They looked exactly like mine in college. All right, move to the Jets. I think I know Caleb's answer. Aaron Glenn will finish the season, true or false, as the Jets head coach.
False. Yeah, he's going to finish the season on the couch. That would be true. If the question was that'd be true. No chance. This guy's dead in the water, man. They tried to fire him after year one. He kind of like, no, it's okay. And they just kind of reshuffled everything behind him, made him fire his coordinators, this, that, and the other. The Jets are just a clown franchise, man. Like, they are the clown franchise in NFL. So even if like Aaron Glenn won 7 games, if he I don't know, did something stupid week 17, they're probably going to can him. So I think my odds are heavily in favor of no, he will not have a job after this year with the New York Jets. Probably good for him too.
Yeah, I kind of look at it differently. Not with a whole lot of confidence. I'm just thinking like, how do you give a guy less than 2 full years on the job to do something? Like that's just asking too much and not putting the coach or any of the staff or any of the players or any of the fan base either like in a good position or a stable position. I think that doesn't really make a whole ton of sense. It's like the Browns, there's a few of these organizations around the league that are just run like complete shit shows. The Jets are definitely one of them. So he probably will end up being fired, but I don't think he should regardless, unless he goes 0-17.
I wrote he will finish the season. True. But he will be fired after the season because Woody Johnson will see that his Madden rating in terms of head coaches, he's lost his skill points. And so therefore, something's going to have to happen. And Woody Johnson's going to make the call. And Marcus Freeman will be the head coach of the New York Jets.
You think Marcus Freeman
That's
is taking
spicy.
the Jets job?
That's spicy. He's got it so good at Notre
He's got
Dame,
it.
dude.
I bet he would have a
don't
great
know.
Madden rating.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I think there was better opportunities for him to take it in the NFL so far, other than the Jets. I don't know.
You're going to go from like top 5 program to be the head coach of in college football to the worst NFL team to be a head coach of.
But yeah, I think he'll get to the end of the year, but he will be fired after. Okay. And the second thing for the Jets, Jonathan, I want you to answer this one first. True or false? Geno Smith will be benched for Cade Klubnik at some point this season.
True, but it's not. I don't think it's going to come from Aaron Glenn. I think it's going to come from the owner and the brass up top. You know what I mean? They seem to have their hands in the cookie jar a little bit too much with the Jets, and I could see it happening. And they're going to be disappointed because he's going to suck, but they're going to be shit no matter what. So like, you might as well throw the young guy out there, get him some PT.
Caleb?
I said, why not? That was my answer. I mean, like at this point, I'm just so down on the Jets. I think anything could happen. So yeah, why wouldn't they try and see if they got some life out of Klubnik in like week 14 or?
Yeah, no, I said the same thing. I think he will be benched for Cade Klubnik. 2 reasons. We go to Madden once again. All right.
Speed rating.
That could come into play. We know that's a decision-making factor. In East Rutherford, New Jersey, or wherever. That's where the stadium is. I don't know where their facility is.
Close enough.
Is it Bronx or is it I don't know. But
it's not God's country. I know that.
Yeah, amen to that. But also, I think this fan base is a little hungry after that Zach Wilson fiasco went south. I think they just, they want a little Zach Wilson in there. And Cade Klubnik's got a little Zach Wilson in him, if you know what I mean. So,
is that racist?
Huh?
Is that racist?
That's not what I said.
He likes his teammates' moms, or what are we talking about here?
Yeah. No, what's the video of Zach Wilson like standing next to all the guys at the draft and like getting scared at all the signs or whatever? When he's standing next to Jamar Chase and all them, and they're all like, I'm not, we'll cut that part out. But you know what I'm talking about?
Love it. I do know.
Yeah.
It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. So that was my reason. Okay, last team, the Dolphins. True or false? Malik Willis. I said 3,500 on the thing. I think that was a little. Let's go 3,000. 3,000. True or false, Caleb? Malik Willis will throw for over 3,000 yards.
False. Who's he throwing to?
That's
Name
exactly what I wrote down.
Team.
It's exactly so. We're on the same
I
page.
knew Malik Washington was down there, but I didn't know that Tutu Atwell was there. That's news to me.
That's huge. Mm-hmm. Huge news. But no, I agree. False. Jonathan?
I'm going to go true, but only if he starts every game. I think if he gets injured at some point, misses a handful here and there, I think that's in real danger of going under 3,000. But I think if you're a starting quarterback, especially at Malik Willis's level, like he's not a bad QB. He's proven himself to be like an average QB in the NFL. I think even with the kind of not great talent that he has on his team as weapons, I still think you should be able to get over that 3,000 yard hump with a full season as a starter.
All right. And then last thing for the Dolphins, Devon Achane, true or false, will finish as a top 3 fantasy running back in 2026. I'll give you my answer first. I said false, and I'll give you 3 reasons why. Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, James Cook. And also a 4th reason, he's probably going to get hurt because he's going to be used way too much. So no, Devon A. Chain will not be a top 3 running back in fantasy this year, and I hope to God not, because I know I don't have him in either of my leagues.
And you didn't even mention McCaffrey there either. Like, that guy had so many yards from scrimmage last year in the pass game as well. I said no, and I think it's because, like, it's a crowded room at the top, and if his usage rate is what I think it will be, because he's by and large the best player on their team, his little ass is not surviving the whole season. There's no chance. I mean, he's going to need a blow at some point or another. And in order for you to be a top 3 running back in fantasy, you got to play weeks 1 through 15.
Yeah, I'm in lockstep with you guys. I don't think he's going to first make it through the entire season, just because of the O line that's going to be blocking for him is probably the worst in the NFL, if not one of the worst. And then secondly, the usage rate, like you said, Kale, was just like, I think he's going to be utilized and leaned on way too much during this season. Who knows? Maybe Malik Willis will have 4,000 yards, and they can use him a little bit less. But yeah, I don't see it happening.
All right, so a lot of us are in agreement there. I think Drake May have been the only thing we went away from, or we'll find out. I don't know. I had to listen back, but either way, that's our true or false edition for the AFC East. Now it's time to pick the winner of the AFC East, and I want Caleb's unbiased opinion first. Who is winning the AFC East?
Let me think as I sit here and look at this 6-time Super Bowl champion banner right there. The stadiums over here. The jerseys in my closet. Yeah. No, it's going to be the Pats. I mean, come on. We're getting better. The team's gotten better. The skill positions are better. We still got arguably the best head coach in the division. We got the best OC in the division. We got Milton Williams on defense. We got Christian Gonzalez. Like, nobody talks about, when they talk about New England, they don't talk about the defense, which was top 3 in the league last year. And those dudes are back. Like, all of them. Christian Ellis is back. Like the band's all there. Okay. And so when you shore up the one hole in that team, which people thought was going to be the offensive line, and it was, I give you this, Elijah Vera Tucker. They got Will Campbell, another year of development, right? Michael Winu at right tackle. And I know people are going to, T-Rex Arms comment under the Will Campbell clip, but the guy's going to get better. Like, it's not going to get regressively worse that fast. And if it does, we'll see it probably week 3 or year 3, year 4. But I have a hard time believing that we are not going to split with the Bills and then play the schedule out better than they do over the season. Because you guys say whatever you want to, Buffalo football, Josh Allen football, kind of some crazy shit going on here and there. Like, they do some dumb stuff. In New England, what you saw is we took care of the football. The only times we had turnover issues when Ramondre was putting it on the ground at the beginning of the year, and he fixed it. The band's all back.
Okay. So unbiasedly, pointing out your stuff in your room, you picked the Patriots. Correct.
Yeah, and the stuff in my closet, and the last
very unbiased pick. Unbiased pick.
20 years.
Okay, I went with the Buffalo Bills, and let me just say some nice things about the Bills first. Okay, offense, we know it's going to be a weapon. Okay, always has. I think the addition of DJ Moore is going to be huge for him. James Cook, we all raved about. Josh Allen, we know, is a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. The defense, Bradley Chubb is a new addition in Buffalo. He is going to be running Will Campbell over in those 2 matchups. He's going to be stumping him. Okay, Ed Oliver, he's been there. He's been there for a while. Gregory Rousseau, I think that's going to be a great defensive line they've got going on. The secondary is a bit of a question mark, I will say, but I also think in terms of this division, you don't have to be the best secondary, especially with the Jets and the Dolphins. We'll find out about the Patriots. I think there could be a problem, with the turning the ball over for the Patriots this season. I mean, especially with A.J. Brown, he's going to be whining for the ball the whole time. I mean, we're going to have to be making some dumb decisions as well, so that could get into the head of them. What did I say right here?
Yeah, you didn't believe
Never
that.
mind.
That's why you're lost.
But what did I write right there? Either way.
He's rattled. He can't get off the Patriots.
I can't even read my own writing. Anyway. But C.J. Gardner-Johnson is an addition that they brought in. Now, he's been getting real roughed up at camp. Maybe he's acting stupid. But if he gets back on the field, I think that'll be big for their secondary. I just think the Bills have a bad taste in their mouth from last season. Obviously, the Patriots had a great season last year. Were able to beat teams like, the New York Jets and the Atlanta Falcons. That just monumental wins.
What about the Baltimore Ravens on the road when we needed to? And
monumental wins all season long. But I think it's going to get to them this year. We talked about the schedule. Now, when you're talking about schedules for divisions, I think it's kind of whatever, because you play a lot of the same teams, you got to play the same divisions, things like that. So they kind of basically have the same schedule. So I think the Bills will be a better team. I think Joe Brady and the offense is going to be stellar, and I think that defensive line is going to be very improved. And Yeah, I'm going with the Buffalo Bills.
That's a good pick. Great pick. Two very good teams, obviously, the Patriots and the Bills. I think everybody who's a football fan and the media and et cetera, thinks that these two are going to be playoff teams and go deep in the playoffs at that. Maybe not Kale. Maybe he doesn't think the Bills are going that deep. But anyways.
No, I think they'll be competitive.
Okay, there you go. So, so everybody kind of respects both teams as really good programs. The Patriot way and some unfortunate offseason news here and there.
What happened?
I'm talking about Mike Vrabel. My bad. I got confused for a second. Scratch that. Anyways, I do have the Patriots though. I got the Patriots. I like the defense. Like Caleb said, they have a top 3-5 defensive unit in the league from last year. A lot of those guys are returning. Christian Gonzalez, I love at corner. He's got to be, top 2 or 3 corner in the league at this point. They added KJ Britt, who I think will help in that second level of defense. Drafted Gabe Jacas, I think is how you pronounce his name. He's a defensive tackle from Illinois who led the Big Ten in sacks last year with 11. So that gives them a solid, kind of depth piece at right there on the interior defensive line. I just like what they did to kind of fill the gaps that they had from last year. And like Caleb said again, everybody's a year older, a year more experience, another year in the off season and training camp and in the weight room, things of that nature. So yeah, and I think the Bills are kind of not on the decline. They've just kind of stalled out a little bit, if you know what I mean. Like they seem like they haven't done too much to kind of innovate over the last season or two. And I think the Patriots have kind of overtaken them as like the sweethearts to get it done. But maybe not the sweethearts because the Patriots are well hated, obviously, from Belichick and Brady. But I think they're a really good team, and they'll be one of the top 4, 5, 6 teams at the end for sure.
You think Vrabel calls Rossini a sweetheart?
Absolutely, dude. That guy's pulling out the sweetheart, the honeys, all the nicknames.
Yeah, all of that.
Boy.
Hey, some other names we didn't name on the Patriots defense too, like additions like Harold Landry, big time player.
Harold
Kevin Byard,
Landry.
big time player. Kevin Byard, big time player. Marcus Jones, big time player. Like you talking about turning the ball over, he's the new Trevon Diggs when Trevon Diggs was good. So got all those guys coming back. I'm fired up, man. I'm fired up. I think we're gonna have a hell of a season.
All right. Yeah, second place in the AFC East. Probably 7th seed in the playoffs.
That's a good year.
That's a solid year. Solid year. Okay, let's finish up the show.